First of all, the Finance Committee of the New York City Municipal Water Finance Authority, and ask Debbie to do a roll call.
Melanie Hartzog.
Alan Andrews for Melanie Hartzog.
Max von Holliday.
Here.
Basil Segos.
Robert Elgren for Commissioner Sagos.
Joseph Murin for Commissioner Sapienza.
We have a quorum.
Okay. I think we indicated at the last meeting we may need to call you back before the end of summer, and I think everyone knows that the last day of summer is a week from tomorrow, so.
You were there.
And also the weather outside. First item is approval of the minutes of July 26th. I have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
The minutes have been circulated. Are there any changes or comments? Not hearing any opposition to the resolution, and not hearing any, it's adopted. All right, we have a couple resolutions on new bond financings. The first is a recommendation of the approval of supplemental resolution 138 on the issuance of some additional bonds. Can I have a motion and a second for discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Great. So do you want to tell us what we're doing?
Yes, so fiscal 2019 Series BB bonds, variable rate bonds, we ask you to approve them in the amount of $100 million. They will finance water and sewer projects of the system and also cost of issuance of the bonds. The bonds will be supported by a 3-year liquidity facility from Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, ICBC. And remarketing agent on the bonds is Jefferies. We expect to price the bonds next week, Wednesday, September 12th, and close transaction on the following day, on September 13th. Are there any questions?
Any other discussion? If not, any opposition to the resolution? And not hearing any, it's adopted. Similarly, we have another resolution, number 139, on a different issuance of bonds. So we need a motion and a second to entertain discussion of this.
So moved.
And seconded.
Okay, Alden?
Thank you, Alan. This is Series CC, also of fiscal year 2019. This is also new money issuance in the amount of $300 million. If you recall, at the time we met with you back in July, we asked you and you authorized us to refund approximately $300 million of shorter variable rate bonds, which we did in August. And now this transaction will replace that variable rate exposure in a form of direct placement with RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. We already have about $200 million of direct placement bonds with RBC, so this will bring the total exposure for this product to $500 million. I think we went over the mechanics of the direct placement with you again back in July, but just to refresh everyone's memory, it's a bond that resets on an index, so it's a variable rate exposure up to a certain date, and then unless we extend that arrangement or refund the bonds, there is a step up in rate. We expect to issue these bonds at the end of this month. Are there any other questions?
Okay, any opposition to the resolution? Not hearing any, it's passed. And then lastly, we have we need a motion and a second to entertain discussion of a recommendation to the Board of Directors for an amendment on an authorization for bond anticipation notes. So Olga will explain what that is, but motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
This is not a new transaction. This is a bond anticipation note we have with Environmental Facilities Corporation. It was authorized back in 2012 in the amount of $30 million. it has expiration date that's coming up at the end of this month. And we still have about $3 million left on this bond bond anticipation note that we can draw from EFC. Because this particular note is project specific, we need that project to spend in order for us to get the money from EFC. We think the project will spend by the end of September of next year, and that's why we're looking to extend the note to September 30th of 2019.
Okay, any other discussion? Any opposition to the resolution? Not hearing any, it's passed. Any further business? Not hearing any, a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Okay, any opposition? We are adjourned.